This is Down Home Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. The United States Marine Corps, the fighting spirit of an entire nation. Doe City Pizza and Burgers. For the best in artisan pizza and burgers, go to Doe City in Red Oak, Texas, across from the high school. It is delicious.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy-to-access ATMs, where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Well, hey, Ellis County, guess what? We got the Lady Line volleyball team here. We got Coach Henderson. We got Mackenzie Pierce, big time outside hitter. Okay. Then we're going to have McKenna Martinez, DS. She's getting it taken care of. Both sophomores. Glad to have y'all here. And Coach, one big thing I don't think people realize is the volleyball level that's played here in Ellis County. Y'all are probably one of the toughest districts around 5A Region 2, District 14. Just talk about, being in that district, how that vaults the level of play of your girls.
Yeah, it does. The teams that we play will go 1, 2, 3 rounds deep. Your top 4 teams are tough to get into because you've got some really, really tough volleyball schools that are entrenched and everybody plays clubs. They've got a lot of girls to choose from that are playing volleyball all year round. And we're getting to the point where we've got more girls playing all year round, and we're getting better all the time.
Well, McKenna, we're going to jump over to you real quick. What are some of the things that you're proudest of the team has, done well on this year?
I think we've all done really great at communicating with each other and being positive with each other. We don't attack each other. If someone makes a mistake, we've all been pretty positive towards each other and we get along really well in that sense. So I think that we've all done great at keeping each other, lifting each other up and just not getting down on ourselves.
Well, and Mackenzie, I've got to see y'all twice now. And, you got that big swing over there on the left-hand side. Every time I've seen you, you've been bringing the cannon from the left-hand side of the net. But, it just seems like y'all are just off just a beat, And what's some ways that y'all as sophomores can influence the team and try to bring that back together and get those little offbeat moments away?
Speaking from experience in these past few district games, we get in our heads a lot, and it obviously starts with the pass and then the set and then the hit. And honestly, just it starts with the pass, because if you can't have a good pass, you can't have a good set, you can't have a great hit. So it just starts from the first basic step to accomplish. So. Awesome.
And Coach, you look at your record, and I may be wrong here because I just got the Max Preps numbers, but it shows that you're 7-9, 0-2. One of the big things is a lot of these teams have played a lot more games than y'all have thus far. And I know there's different scenarios. We're not going to get into those as to why things don't happen sometimes. But, one of the things I'm looking at is they're not that far. It seems like your team is really not that far off from just rolling off a bunch of wins. Your thoughts?
Right. We're not. We're just right there. We've just got to, and I've been talking to the girls a lot about this. We've got to be mentally tough and cut down on our unforced errors. We hurt ourselves more than people hurt us as far as points and things like that. but we're really working hard on that and trying. We know I'm talking to the girls, and they know, this is one of the things they struggle on. McKenna's right. They do not attack one another on the court. They are together in what they do, and they lift each other up. The bad part is sometimes they're so together, if they start going down, they all fall down that rabbit hole together, which, you know what, as a coach, I want them to be together, and I want them to not attack each other, and they certainly do not. So in that aspect, these girls are great girls on and off the court. Their character is beyond reproach. I mean, they're great girls, and speaking in life, that's going to serve them, a lot better than what they do on a court. That being said, they've got it. They just have to know in their mind they've got it. And we're going to start winning some ball games.
Well, and McKenna, one of the things I've really noticed is the fact your serves have gotten better, which has set up that defense in the middle a lot easier. Just talk about that. And are y'all putting an emphasis on that serve just to get the point set off in the right perspective for y'all?
Yeah, we do focus a lot on serving and keeping it out from where the other libero, the team's libero is at. So we focus a lot on the serve and putting it where they're not, or just trying to find open spots in our serves when we serve and go back there. So I think that the serve is a big part to win the game, because you have to get your serve over in order to get the game starting. So
when it seems, and I'm going to stick with you, McKenna, but it just seems like your percentage on serve has gone up over the season as well, from what I can see looking from the outside in. I think y'all probably started the first 5 games somewhere around 85. I think y'all are probably up about 91 right now based on little numbers that I've kept. Is that pretty close? And, what are some of the drills that you're doing to get better every week?
Every week we do this drill where we get 10 serves, and you want to get them as hard as you can, so it have the speed, be really fast of your serve, and putting them in a spot that would be hard to receive. And so every week we do that drill, and we're constantly doing drills with serving incorporated into the drills. And I think that our serving percentages have gone up because of those drills, because we are practicing so hard to get those serves over the net and have them be hard to receive. So.
Well, and Mackenzie, one thing I noticed on the hitting side of things and on the blocking as well, it seems like y'all's angles have gotten better. Y'all are starting to cut pizza slices now is what I call it. When you get on the net and you just dice one right down the line. But, how much has that helped y'all finding those new angles? It seems like your angle of attack has expanded over the last 4 games.
I've learned putting the ball in the same spot, the other team is gonna find the pattern, and they're just gonna know where I'm gonna go, and they're gonna read my body language every single time. But just doing something a little bit different, going towards a line, they're not gonna expect that you going cross or cutting it sharp or tipping it constantly, doing the same hits and stuff like that. If you do different shots, different angles, different spots, they're not gonna know where you're gonna put it, and that's what ends up pulling you put the ball down very good.
Well, Mackenzie, sticking with you real quick, okay? One of the big things is, that I've noticed about volleyball here recently is this slide hit. Now, do you incorporate – I didn't get to see you do that, but, that's one of the coolest moves I've seen in a while. You come down the net and slide it back the opposite direction. Are y'all doing things like that? Because, like I said, I don't get to see y'all all the time, but, are you pulling up and, getting that little palm tap over sometimes? What kind of things are you talking about right there as far as the hits?
On the slide hit?
Yeah. The slide hit or just the little palm, little poke over?
The slide hit, I don't do a lot, but when it does happen, it's a beautiful hit, especially when they put the ball down. It's beautiful. And a little roll tap hit, or the roll, yeah. It's a simple, easy shot, but it's money. It wins you, and not wins you. It wins the point, and it's just they put the ball down. So.
Well, and Coach, one of the things that, I know you're really great with these girls. I know these girls really respect you and take you to heart, like a mother, like an aunt, and, in some cases. But just talk about we talked about the unity a little bit before, but how great is it to have a team that's this tight, that's this uplifting for each other? And, these relationships, we talk about the things off the court are going to be there the rest of life. These relationships that they're building right now are going to be there the rest of their lives. I know these young ladies don't necessarily get that, but, talk about that and what you see from that aspect.
Well, you're correct. I mean, these connections they make with their teammates, they're going to carry the rest of their life. And it's a beautiful thing to see these girls that are becoming really good volleyball players, are really good kids. They don't, I don't have problems with them in class. They know when they walk out of the gym, out of the locker room, they know we are, I don't want to say we're better than the other kids, but we know what the rules are, and they know they follow the rules because, they know that they're set apart, I should say. One of the girls put on the board the other day when I had our workout on the board, she put AO1, and I was like, what is that? And she said, that's an audience of one. So we're really playing for a lot of these girls are playing for each other, but they're also playing for that one above that, and they know, I'm going to do my best, and I've got character and integrity. That's going to take me far in life and in school too. It's a blessing to coach these girls. It really is.
Well, and McKenna, this is going to be for both of you young ladies, okay? I know you probably don't think about it sophomore year really, but, being a mentor, being somebody that these young girls look up to, the third and fourth graders that come out and check your match out, the junior high girls, what does that mean to you to be that person that sets the goals for a lot of other young women and being a great example for them on how to live their lives?
To me, it drives me to work hard and get better because I am an example for them and they can look up to me at times. And so that just drives me to continue to do good things and on and off the court, to just be a good person overall, and on the court, be a good volleyball player and have that mentality to want the game and want the drive and just be overall a good person. It really drives me.
Well, Mackenzie, what about you?
When they come and I see them and stuff like that, I don't want them to think that volleyball is a game of perfection. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have I cannot talk. We're going to make mistakes, and we're not going to make the perfect pass, perfect hit, perfect set. Therefore, I don't want them to think that it's all about that kind of stuff. I want them to think it's fun. You're playing, for fun. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy the game. It's not just obligated to be the most perfect athlete on the court. I want them to see that it's all about the love for the sport, that you pour everything you have when you're playing it. So, yeah.
Well, Coach, it's got to do your heart great. I mean, most of the time when we ask sophomores this question, we don't get as elegant of a response. Most kids that are, second year in high school haven't thought this far out. How does it do your heart to hear these young ladies talk about setting that example as an Ennis line for the future?
Well, like I said, it's a blessing to coach these particular girls. And I know in my sophomore class, that's why I asked these two and the other one, they've got a lot of leadership abilities and qualities. They've got a lot of great character. Their integrity is beyond reproach. And it's just their parents should be proud because they're really good. I brag about them all the time, and I'm excited about the future with them. I'm excited about just seeing them grow as volleyball players and as young ladies.
Awesome. Well, girls, I'm going to give you a chance to give a shout out real quick. I know most volleyball teams have a little sister program. Do y'all have that? Y'all don't have little sisters or anything? Okay, never mind then. I'll cut that out. Bye-bye. Bye. No, my girls always had them, okay? But what's one of the things that you would tell, and this is going to McKenna, what's one of the things that you would tell a young lady out there that wants to get started in the sport of volleyball to focus on?
I think volleyball is, yes, you want to be good at the sport as well, but I think it's all a mental game, and it's all about staying positive, keeping your head up, and focusing on the game when it comes to game time. So I think it's all just a mental sport, and just being positive, and just knowing that you're going to mess up and it's okay to mess up, and just overall, yes, work on the volleyball aspect part of it, but also work on keeping a positive mind and being good in the mind when you play.
Well, McKenna, am I right or wrong that Mackenzie can kind of be a little crazy?
In some ways, yes, she can be.
Okay. So, Mackenzie, I want you to find that inner person right now, that inner Sam Harrell. Okay. I want you to get mean and rough and tell these Lion fans why they ought to be out there every Tuesday night. Because, folks, we got Tuesday night lights. It's under the big lights in the gyms. So tell them why they ought to be out there Tuesdays and Fridays before the games to check y'all out.
So anybody that's watching this, please come out Tuesdays and Fridays, because we need y'all to be loud to make us loud, and just give that very – oh, sorry, the thing's just turned off. I'm back, sorry. Once we're being loud, that momentum is up. Momentum is up. We'll be up. We'll be on the top. We'll give everything we'll have, and that we'll just win, not just because you're there, but because, like, the gym is so hyped and we're so hyped. Therefore, like, when we have a positive mindset, there's always going to be a positive outcome. So.
Well, McKenna, what's one of the big chants that y'all do, or how do y'all take it out after winning a point? Let's hear it loud and proud.
I have to do what we do?
Yeah.
It's mainly like, it goes a little something like, yeah, let's go. Like, we all just celebrate, and we're all just really loud on the court, and we hype each other up after a point.
Okay, so there's no like hug, there's no up here.
It depends on what we get. If we have little chants for different type of points, but yeah, we all go in and we hug each other, and we just hype each other up and let them know that what they did was really, really good. So.
Well, Coach, I want to go back to this group as a whole. I got to see y'all at the Midlothian game, and y'all stayed right there with a very, very good Midlothian team. Just had some things, go outside the lines, a couple missed hits in there. I think that would have vaulted it to a much closer match. But talk about the energy, because it never seemed like the energy really went down on that bench. Can you speak more to that? Because I'm just totally impressed that you got a team that's never given up. They're going to fight for every point.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've talked about is, if you don't give up on a point, you don't give up on a game, anything can happen. And that, for the most part, they are really, really good about that. And don't give up on each other. Don't give up on the point. They are just hard workers. Now we got to get that mind tough and just don't give away points. That's some of the problems we have. We give them points. They don't have to earn it. Yeah. And so we're really working on that, and they're responding well. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, Mackenzie, real quick. Are you ready? What's better, a nice, clean dig that just puts the ball straight up for a setter, or a kill right down somebody's throat?
Definitely on somebody's throat, because you can always adjust the hit. Well, all right. Sorry, hold on. You can always adjust the hit, like, move to like the hit, but like with the pass, and you have a great set, but that hitter can put it in the net. And that whole great pass and the whole great set, you just wasted it for nothing. So that's why I say the hit, because, again, you can adjust to it. If it's a bad set, move and get behind the ball and swing at it and put it down.
McKenna, nice dig. Nobody thought you could get there, or that person that hustles it down toward the back wall of the gym and puts it back into play?
I would say the person that hustles to get to the ball, because that just satisfied feeling that you got there and that person got there, and the game's still going, the play's still on. So.
Well, Coach, is McKenna one of those that runs that ball down too?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. All right. Well, Coach, tell us about the next couple of games you got coming up tomorrow night and Friday.
Okay, we play Tuesday in Red Oak at it'll be 6:30, 6:45. Friday, we're going to play Corsicana here, which is homecoming. So that also is going to be a lot of fun for the girls. And, I'm hoping, we have more people come out since there'll be more people around. So I'm expecting a couple of W's this week. We're going to walk into both gyms expecting to win these games and playing like we expect to win.
Well, I tell you what, folks. If there ain't any sign of improvement that I've seen, has been amazing. These ladies are taking big steps. Make sure you get out to the gym there. Follow them around. Be there for them. Get them hyped up. That's what these girls need in this county, and these young ladies need it just as much as anybody else, and they got a great heart to boot. So make sure you're out there for Tuesday Night Lights in Ennis, Texas. And, ladies, we'll see you on down the line. And, Coach, best of luck to you, okay?
Elite Tire and Automotive. Ever have one of those days and just need a little hand? Well, with our remote services, we'll just hop right on it. Get you back on the road quick and easy. With automotive services to cover all your mechanical needs. Need that state inspection done? Well, we can do that too. So roll on in and see a friendly face. Give us a call, and we can be right on the spot to assist you. So trust the friendly folks down at Elite Tire and Automotive, 972-775-1055. In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always going to get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of Doe-licious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas.
I'd like to welcome in Coach Ryan Smith, SAGU head football coach, with us this evening. That's right, folks. Here in Ellis County, we have college football. And so, Coach Smith, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Want to say, I guess, congratulations on a hot start, 2-1 to start the season, coming off a 38-21 victory against Millsaps. You guys jumped out to an early 21-0 lead, racking up over 200 yards in that first quarter alone. It always has to feel good to come out hot. You guys came out slinging it. You came out running. How'd you feel once that first quarter was concluded?
You know, we really go into our install phase, really putting a lot of emphasis on our first script. And, we were trying to see some things and see some guys make plays. And we did exactly what we wanted to do, which was really good for us to come out and have that first quarter. We talked about the element of our guys playing one play at a time, one drive at a time, one quarter at a time. So you got to feel good about what we did early. We also had 88 guys dressed out Saturday. So we wanted to see some guys get reps. We needed to see some guys in some game simulation just to kind of see that live. So we started making some substitutions and doing some different things that probably, negated the track we were on at the end of the first quarter. But nonetheless, quarterback played well, running backs, O-line looked good, receivers did the things they need to do. And then defensively, we were working some different fronts and some different looks. So we're able to see a lot of things on film and clean a lot of things up.
Awesome. Well, when you talk about 88 guys, go to the defensive side of the ball, and you had, 6 Lions with 5+ tackles. I mean, you had Drake Rodriguez and Dalton Spencer out there getting sacks, getting tackles for losses. I think they combined for like 16 or 18 tackles themselves. Talk about that defensive play. You held them to 1 for 11 on third down conversions. I mean, you were keeping them at bay, and over the last 3 quarters, they were barely able to match the points you put up in the first quarter. Talk about Drake and those guys on the defensive side of the ball and the effort they put in.
I think Drake, going into the week, Drake was very intentional about making sure that he had a good game. He was not he didn't feel like I thought he always played well, but the week before, I don't think he thought he played up to his standards. So he had a really good work week. He put together a good week, and he came out. So he also blocked a punt. He had a phenomenal day for a defensive lineman who's kind of negated to half the field. Does a great job. He's a high motor guy for us. He's one of our 4D leaders. He's an impactful guy for us. And then Dalton Spencer just finds the football. He does a great job of finding the football and being around the football. And he's just figured out in his life that if he'll be near the football, good things will happen for him. So that's kind of what he's done.
Now, I want to get to Keaton here in a second, but before we get to him, you see a lot of success in the running game. I mean, a lot of success on offense in general when those big boys up front are doing their job. When you look at a guy getting 161 rushing yards on the ground, 3 TDs, quarterback slinging it for 250 yards and a touchdown, shows me they had some time and they had some protection. Talk about that offensive line, the effort they're putting in, and how does that make you feel moving forward, knowing that your front is that solid?
We returned all 5 starters from a year before, so we feel really good. Our left tackle, Hayden Evans, has been starting since I got the head job here. So he's been with me, all 4 seasons. Evan Greathouse is a 4-year starter for us. And then we sprinkled in some pieces, and Antoine McDowell, Donald Kitchen, and Rod Williams. Those kids are all from Mississippi. I actually coached Donald in high school. So he was kind of my connecting point to those other guys. Saturday, Avery Robinson gave us some good work. He gave us a quality start. He started in place one of those guys a little banged up. And then Antoine Bailey also gave us good reps. And then our young guys did really good. But, you know, you got 5 starters up there who can kind of ID things and talk through things and really just clean up some stuff. So they fix a lot of the issues. So when they come to the sideline, they're mature enough, they're old enough, they're all seniors or whatever it is with COVID stuff. But they're all
no one knows.
Guys. Yeah. So they're guys who, you know, they can fix it themselves. And then you mix in that with Jordan, who's a grad transfer, who's like having another coach. Then it makes it pretty dynamic in our ability to adjust. And you've seen that through the season. Our third quarters have been our best production so far this season because we have the ability to come in and fix things and communicate things.
Now, sticking on that offensive line, I just kind of want to hear from you a little bit more on, for somebody who, let's say, doesn't watch football a lot, you would think that, you know, the biggest guys and the most athletic guys up front would probably get it done. But when you talk about these guys are all seniors or whatever with COVID rules, they're all older, they're all mature. How much is it a benefit that those guys have played together, those guys have a relationship with each other, and they know how to communicate? Sometimes you'll see that you'll have those lines that are more experienced. They may not be as athletic, but they have more success just because they know how to communicate.
Well, and that is huge because you got to understand the 3, Donald, Rod, and Antoine played college. They played junior college together. So they've been together for a while. And then, but you'll notice these 5 guys hang out. Like they eat together, they spend time together. They're always together. And when you've got, you know, Evan Greathouse, our center, he ran a 4.940. Antoine McDowell's close to a 4.840. And then you mix that with guys who, you know, Rod's 6'6", you know, and you start mixing the size with the athleticism. They're extremely talented, and their ability to communicate and articulate and fix things. And, you know, and it's a trust issue too, because I just trust them. So as soon as they say, hey, coach, we need to run this, man, we're in it. You know, I'm doing it just because if they take ownership in what we're doing, we'll have a lot better success rate out of it. And I believe that at this level, these guys that take ownership into our offense and kind of help predicate some of the things we do schematically, man, it just seems to go a lot better because they have more ownership of it.
Well, let's talk about Keaton Dudek, and I hope I pronounced that right, last name correctly. But 161 yards, 3 TDs. One of them was a 40-plus yard run. He's listed as a redshirt junior, so, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll have him back hopefully again next year. But talk about having a guy like that in the backfield who is a little bit older, but is out there running his butt off and seems like giving you guys a pretty good chance to be a balanced offense.
Keaton's special. I mean, he's one of our leaders. He's a guy who came in here, he's from China Springs. He's a Waco kid. Played junior college ball here in Texas, and just never really got the opportunity to be the guy. So, you know, coming in, he had a chip on his shoulder, and, you know, he came in and worked extremely hard. Last year, we had another back that he kind of split reps with. So this year, he was just determined. He's like, Coach, I can be the guy. I can be the workhorse guy. I can carry it 20-plus times a game. And we've seen that. He worked extremely hard this summer. He's in great shape. And he's doing some really special things for us. And, you know, the biggest element of growth for him, we talked about coming out of last season, was him finishing runs. Like, man, the 50-yard rip, and, you know, you spin it off. But how do you finish that run? And you saw Saturday late in the game, he finished the run. So he started finishing things. He catches the ball. He's an extra receiver out of the backfield. And, I mean, he got National Christian College Athletic Association National Player of the Week. This week with the offensive side player of the week. That was announced today. So he just gives us the dynamic of they're forced to have integrity in the box with their numbers. If not, we've got some receivers that can make you pay. So it allows us to stay balanced. And for me, you know, my background in play calling, I can be a little pass happy. He really helps me stay grounded because I know those 5 up front are making things go, and then he's doing some special things too. So it helps us stay really, really balanced.
Let's talk about that quarterback you got. And I would say veteran at the collegiate level. Like you said, He's already on a grad student, and Jordan Barlow, and if I pronounce that last name, I'm terrible with last names. And so we talk about Jordan, 17 for 27, 217 yards and a touchdown. Like you said, he had help in the backfield, but I know that's a guy that likes to sling it around too. Talk about his composure and the leadership that he brings, being an older guy, especially for those young guys on the team, to see a guy go out there, be that composed, and just showing that while he does like to pass, and y'all, like you said, you do like to be a little more pass heavy, leadership, turn around, hand it off, be supportive. Talk about his role within your offense and within your team leadership.
I think you look at quarterback play as a whole. Quarterbacks who can step back and throw it to the tallest or the fastest in the field, running down the field, those guys are everywhere. So his ability to create is something that's been really dynamic for us, and we've been real pleased with his ability to create and do those things. But then also we've evolved. He's running some option-based football for us and really sticking his foot in the ground and running hard. And what you see in that is you see a toughness and a competitive edge that causes guys to really rally behind him and go, man, he's going to stick his nose in there. He'll take the pop, or, he'll take the hit to get the first down. He'll do those things. And it's just a leadership element where these guys believe in him. He believes in them. And, man, with Jay Barr there, we're in a really good place. And you can just feel his sense of maturity within our program and our offense.
Well, I know he's got some good guys to throw to. Jamal Long, 3 receptions, 83 yards, and a touchdown. But one stat that I found interesting, and I just think that goes to the depth on y'all's team, is 8 different receivers catching the ball. You don't see that too often. It shows, I think, how y'all rotate guys in, but the depth that you had. Talk about that receiving core and then having more than just 1 or 2 options to get out there and throw the ball to.
Our recruiting coordinator, Coach Paramore, he's a phenomenal recruiter, but he's done a really good job with that receiver room. And we're very touch predicated. We keep what I call a touch chart. So at halftime, I'm looking at touch charts just like you would, in say a different sport. But I know if they're not touching it, they're not scoring. So we have some pretty dynamic guys that we're real intentional to make sure guys are getting touches, getting reps, getting rotations. There's those go-tos. We're going to throw the ball vertical to Jamal. He does that really well. We're going to get, some of our slot play in space so they can work. And then, we've got some really dynamic guys, but we're very conscious of touches and targets and making sure that receiver room, our goal by the end of this year is to have at least 10 guys over 15 catches. And that's really important to us. And we're going to be on track for that. Three of our starting 4 receivers are already in double digits through 3 games. And then Keaton, I believe he's in double digits. So our goal is that our top 8 receivers all be 15 plus. And, I can't do nothing with it if you don't put it in their hands. So it's pretty simple math to me. Get them the ball, let them do their thing.
So also I want to take this moment to give a shout out, because not every day you see this at the collegiate level. Woodley going out and hitting a 51-yard field goal. So got to give the kickers some love. Having a guy that can boot the ball that far, that's got to help too.
Well, we call our specialists, if you've ever come to our prep, all of our specialists wear the number 1 on their jersey, and we call them the one-job crew. You got one job, and that's your job. And I always tell them the best specialists are specialists you can trust. And Woodley got Sooner Athletic Conference Special Teams Player of the Week this week. And he is a young man we can trust. All of our specialists are our snappers, our punter, and Seth. And then he also holds for us. And then Woodley hits a 51-yarder, which is the second longest field goal in school history. I think he'd have been good from 55. But, he booted it. And we were actually in a scenario where, as a play caller, I was calling plays just to put us in position to kick a field goal because I just wanted to see him. We needed to be in that scenario in that game and put him in that position so he could build confidence. And it just comes back to an element. He does his job, and it just builds more trust. And, man, our guys rally around K. Wood, and they know he's the guy. So it's a special group, man. That one-job crew, they're also the funniest group on our team. They're hilarious.
Now, one thing I want to ask you, and then from people that play sports that get it, but you get a lot of fans, and especially, watching other college football, watching pro football, you'll have teams get up big like you guys did, early in the game. And then you'll see that at the rest of the game, it's maybe not put on as much. And, I know you'll have fans going, why aren't we running it down their throat? Why isn't it 55-0 and blah, 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 blah. Can you explain when you're a coach? Like you said, you dressed out 88, you go up big 21-0, and then you're trying things. You're putting your field goal in a position to go out there and kick. Can you explain that sometimes in games like that, when you're getting up big, that is opportunity to do more than just those 11 guys on both sides of the ball running it down people's throat?
Yeah, I think there's a work equity there where we got 130 guys in our program. So all those guys are working. So they all deserve the fruit of their labor, so to speak. And we talk about sowing and reaping. That's kind of been our big thing this year is so we want to see those guys get on the field. Some of their parents come from a long way to see them on the field. So we want to do that. The next element for us is we're constantly trying to adapt our prep into game simulation. I think that's where the game's going. How can we get our preps and our daily activities as much game simulated as possible, coming from the sideline, transitioning in and out of personnel groups, those type things. So we need to see those scenarios. Defensively, we looked at some different fronts, some different coverages, some different blitzes to try to get some stuff on film, because until guys see it, they can't fix it. So we've got to see it. Offensively, we worked 2 other quarterbacks. We let our young running backs play and get some reps. And we saw some linemen that have been in this program for 2 years, and due to COVID last year and only getting 7 games, that was their first action. So, they've been dressing out, kind of being faithful through the course of last year. And now they're kind of, getting to get on the field. So, yeah, there's so many scenarios and there's so many things, because a football season's a process. We live Saturday to Saturday, and that's well and good. But I think for us is understand the process of understanding, like, we need to see this scenario right now. We need to see this, personnel grouping or this front or, this special teams unit. We need to evaluate this young man to see if he can actually help us, which will alleviate a starter for maybe a special teams role. Mm-hmm. So there's so many different things, and it's actually more stressful once you get up than it is when you're just kind of in your groove of play calling of what you planned all week, because you're trying to manage so many other entities instead of just calling plays and aligning defensively and being sound and doing those things. So there's a lot more things in play. So it's, I always say is winning college football games is not easy wherever you are. So when you can win them, man, win them. And when you can let a lot of guys be a part of that, because playing college football isn't easy. So, when you can have those 2 things work together on Saturday, it's a pretty good Saturday.
Well, let's get into this upcoming game. Y'all got another Sooner Athletic Conference game against Arizona Christian. I guess first and foremost, how long of a bus ride is it? Do y'all drive out there or do y'all fly?
We fly.
Okay. I was about to say.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to say.
So we do fly. Now, Arizona, I'll tell you, Coach Bowen and I are really good friends. They bus everywhere. They bus to Arkansas. They bus to Louisiana. That's what they do. They bus. Fortunately for us, administration and, through fundraising, we're allowed to fly that trip, which makes it a lot easier. Some of our guys get to experience something they've never done. And we do it that way and get out there early Friday. Because also, like this week alone, it's going to be in the 80s the rest of the week in Texas. It will be 103 at kickoff in Arizona on Saturday. So, you got to kind of get out there and get adapted to that. But, yeah, ACU is a great program. I've been here since 2018. And I have fortunately, our program has always had the lead at halftime. And that is not fair. We were up 31-14 in last fall, and then we played them again in the spring. We're up again. And just didn't close out the deal. Their coach staff does a great job of second half adjustments. They're just a good program. I've got a lot of respect for Coach Bowen and, just a ton of respect for him. So, it's always a good matchup. It's an even matchup. There's talent all over the field. I'm excited for our guys to get to go to Arizona. I tell these guys all the time, football will take you places that life, nothing else may ever take you there. So we try to enjoy that experience and let as many guys be a part of it as can. So it's a good time.
Awesome. Well, Coach, before I let you go, building off the last game as y'all do head over to Arizona, maybe what are a couple things that you want to see improvements on? I know it's easy to say when you beat up on a team that, hey, they did a lot of things right, but maybe what are some things cleaned up that you think will be critical for y'all's win out there in Arizona?
I think our route integrity with our passing game, we've got to stay within concept. We got to have good spacing with our route concepts. Special teams wise, I thought we had a great day. We blocked 3 punts. I mean, that's a great day. Hit a 51-yard field goal, had several touchbacks. Defensively, we just got to kind of find our identity, stick with our identity. Yes, we worked on a lot of things. We got to see some things on film, but now it's just time. We got to get lined up. We got to pre-snap alignment sound. Communication's got to be good. And, offensively, we've just got to understand the adjustments that need to take place through the course of 4 quarters. I mean, it's a long 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And we've got to be very intentional to make those adjustments, use our personnel packaging, incorporate our personnel really good, communicate as a staff, and do all those things. So those are things: route integrity, communication on the defensive side, alignment, assignment sound, and then continue to use special teams to our advantage and kind of make that one of those breaking points.
Well, awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time out of your evening to join me. Wish you guys the best of luck. Let's come back 3-1, and then hopefully we can get you guys back on and talk a little more SAGU football. It's always a pleasure. Go get them, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, guys.
Pinnacle Bank is here to help our community grow by partnering with local real estate agents and developers to bring the services we need.
There's so much happening here, and we're able to get Pinnacle Bank to join up with us. They've got a location at the Midlothian Crossing, and Christy, you're doing a great job. Debbie, you too. I love, for me as a local broker, is to bring local people to you as a prospect and to show that you're part of the community.
So talk with someone you can trust about commercial loans and business services. Pinnacle Bank, not just a bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
We got a good one for you this evening, folks. We have got Red Oak Cross Country with us. We've got Coach Reed with Devin James and Anna Cook joining us. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening. It's always a pleasure to get you long distance runners on here because let me tell you, you can't see my full figure, but I do not run long distance. And so it's always nice to talk to you cross country guys and gals. So Coach Reed, we'll start with you. Give us a little peek behind the curtain. How's the season going so far? And what about cross country and coaching these young men and women makes it so enjoyable for you? And what about the sport just keeps you engaged and would help you to reach out to encourage other young kids to get involved with cross country?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Again, thank you for having us here tonight. It's a great experience for Evan, Devin, and Anna. But yeah, just the reason I enjoy coaching cross country is just because the kids. I mean, it's running, right? Not everybody enjoys to run, so it makes me smile whenever kids come out early in the morning. We practice starting at 6 a.m. and they just keep coming out each morning, to run. So that's what motivates me is just these kids are willing. Each day we've been going since the beginning of August. Some kids came over the summer, but it's really cool to see kids do something that's not everybody wants to do. Not a whole lot of kids want to get up and go running several miles each morning. But it's really it's good for you. Obviously the health benefits, the mental aspect of it. It just really I think it sets up the kids for a successful day at school. They got to get up in the morning and they run a little bit and then they go to classes and they finish out their day. So but it's a really fun sport. Basically what I like the most about it is that you can really see a kid's progress, because the more they do it, the faster they get. And it doesn't necessarily mean like they're going to be the best runner on that team or whatever, but they can make, personal gains. They can, they never ran before, but they stick with it. They could shave off, anywhere between 5, 7, 10 minutes on, on the 5K, which that's our standard course, which is a little over 3 miles. But they can see that, it's tangible. They can see, hey, I've made this much improvement, especially those kids like, Devin and Anna, they've been in the program for 3 years with Anna. This is Devin's 4. Well, he's in the middle school too. But I mean, they make strides each and every year. So it's really cool to see that. Again, you give them evidence, hey, this is where you were at. This is where you're at now. So it's very cool. And it's very, it's very cool for the kids. So that's why I enjoy it. Plus, it's just a fun atmosphere. I mean, a lot of, again, you've never been to a meet, it's pretty intense out there. And the kids, I mean, they cheer each other on. It's a very supportive, very positive environment. It's just a whole lot of fun. So I really enjoy being around the kids. So.
Awesome. Well, Anna, we'll come to you. One thing that I got to know is you guys do get up super early, and I'm going to assume part of that is school time, but also because you're in the state of Texas, and when you start early in August, it's about 90 degrees when you wake up in the morning. But one thing about cross country is it doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if it's 60. It don't matter if it's 100. When the meet's happening, the meet's happening. And so talk about just sometimes the change in weather and environments and how, as a competitor, you mentally have to be ready that it could be raining, it could be 99 degrees, it could be 60 degrees, and you've got to go out there and compete either way.
Well, this past meet that we just ran, it was a little later than when we usually run, and it was really hot. And we usually run in the morning, and it's like the beginning of our season, it's like still pretty hot, but like right now when we run in the morning, it's not that hot like as when we were running like at that meet, like our last meet. And it definitely is a lot harder when you run in like the heat like that, especially when you're like doing distance and you're just running and there's certain spots like where it's shaded, and then the parts where it's not, that is like mentally you just have to like keep telling yourself like just keep running, like you're almost done, like you have this much left. But like towards the end of our season, it gets like a lot cooler, and I always look forward to that because it feels so good to run like in the fall weather whenever the wind is blowing and it's like cool outside. But yeah, I think just like mentally preparing yourself, like I like look up the weather the day before the meet and I like see if there's a chance of rain or if it's going to be a little chilly or hot, and then I just have to like get ready like for like what the weather is going to be like.
So Devin, I know we're all ready for fall here. 75 and sunny is beautiful, but Can you talk about as a runner, especially cross country? I mean, it's got to feel different, right? When it's 95, 99 and dry versus when it's cooler, or even when it gets wet. I mean, in your lungs, with your body, can you tell a difference? It's a different feel, and how does that affect your running when it does, temperatures and conditions do change like that?
Absolutely. You like you said previously, you never know what you're going to expect when you go out to a race. So you have to be mentally prepared for whatever happens. But of course, when you run in hot weather, you need to be sure to be extra hydrated because your body will dry out faster. For me, when it's cold, my lungs dry out really fast, and that's an issue. And then, of course, the humidity is a huge factor when it comes to, how much you sweat, how much water you're losing, and that, so many factors go into it. But most importantly, you just need to make sure that you have the right headspace and go out there knowing that you're going to try your hardest regardless of how it feels outside.
I got to tell you, Devin, man, hearing you talk, if you've ever thought about going into broadcasting or something, your voice.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here like, dang, I wish I could get that low. But Coach Reed, talk about the mentality of working with these kids. Everybody wants to say, well, football's mentally tough or baseball's mentally tough. I mean, you get out there cross country, it is mentally taxing because you are pushing your body past the comfort zone of what it wants to do. And talk about instilling it with these kids and the hard work they put in, but then also this translates to life as well. I mean, if you can mentally teach yourself to push yourself through this, it sets up more things than maybe some kids even realize possible. Talk about the mental struggles and the mental fortitude that it takes to do cross country. Absolutely. I mean, it takes a lot of mental toughness. And I would love to invite other sports to come out there to one of our meets and to see, the anguish on these kids, some of these kids' faces as they cross the finish line. Because you're right, you got to take your body and your mind to a different level, to be the ultimate competitor at a distance running, because it's definitely a mental challenge. Like with the heat, you don't know what you're going to get each morning. And maybe, like I said, I mean, last past week, it was like Anna said, it was extremely hot out there. And the past couple weeks have been cooler in the mornings, and yet your body just has to adapt and adjust to, because we definitely run in everything. And so it's definitely, it's a whole different, again, it's an experience that you need to, kind of experience for yourself, just because you do got to take yourself to a different level if you want to push yourself and be the best that you can be, because it's a grind, just like any other sport. I mean, our season's a little bit shorter than like say football, for example. But we still start, about the same time they do. We don't necessarily have as many games, but each and every week we're just out there and we're competing just like the other sports are. But it's definitely you definitely got to train yourself to take yourself to that next level. And the quote that I always enjoy sharing, and even for my personal self, is just you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's definitely translates to running, because you're going to be uncomfortable, whether it's, our district meet or you're going up against some, the big 6A schools or whatever. It's windy outside, it's raining, the bad footing, you just don't feel good that morning. So that's something that I try to, share quite often, is you got to make yourself comfortable being, uncomfortable, just like in, basketball, shooting free throws with games on the line. That's not a comfortable environment either. So you got to make yourself comfortable, and that just comes with, practice and experience and, all that good stuff. But it's definitely, it's a great experience at those finish lines. Those kids, they give it all they have. And I tell ours, I'll pick you up if I have to, once you cross that finish line. It's just, but you got to get yourself to that point where, I'm going to go as hard as I can. So, but it's definitely, it's definitely a mental sport for sure. Awesome. And I'm going to come back to you. I want to talk a little bit about pacing. When you go and you're doing these events, I know you work on it in practice, getting to your time. But does it change week to week? Is it the same every time you have an idea of what your time should be? You're trying to beat that personal record, or does it change depending on the venue and maybe the time of day of, hey, I can kick it into gear here. Hey, I can look at my competition. Maybe I need to go a little quicker here. When you start an event, how do you map out the pacing in your head of where you need to be?
Well, pacing is a really hard thing to learn how to do. I still struggle with it now. But for me, I try to keep roughly the same pace each meet, depending on the course is a really big factor. Like if you know you're going to be running like a lot of hills, and like to kind of know where those like hills are is a good thing to like keep in mind as you're running, like slow it down maybe a little bit here so I can kick it going up this hill, and then I have the downhill. So it's just, I think a big part of it is like knowing your course and like what you're going to run. But other than that, I think that for me, like my pace, usually I try to keep it the same each meet.
Now, Devin, kind of sticking on the same thing with you. I know you look at shorter distance races, you see somebody kicking it at a gear and you're thinking, I've got to go now. When you get into cross country, you may have guys that kick it in early, and you may have those that kick it in late. When you're getting started and you see a meet, are you kind of judging what's around you, or is it your own deal? I know what I need to do and I'm going to stick to it, or does it just depend kind of what you see? Like she said, conditions. How do you work on your pacing, and then when compared to your competition, when you think you need to kick it in gear?
Good question. For me, in my opinion, I think learning to pace yourself is the most difficult part of cross country. It's what takes the most practice and the most years of doing it. So I think a lot of beginners struggle to pace themselves correctly, and a lot of them struggle to kick correctly as well. But after doing it for a long time, I feel pretty confident about where I want to start kicking, which is usually around the 100 or 200 meter mark. But you're right, it is course dependent as well. So if I know there's a big hill coming up, I might want to save a little bit of my energy for that final hill rather than expending it all on the flat part.
Awesome. Well, this next
course dependent. Yeah.
This next question is going to be for all three of you, and it may be way off, but I know I've seen you go on YouTube or you go on, I don't know, TikTok or whatever, but you'll see some videos of cross country. I've seen like people running cross country and all of a sudden a deer comes out of nowhere and clips one of the competitors, which is crazy to me. And I don't think you'll see that down here. But Anna, we'll start with you. Maybe what's the craziest thing you've seen at a cross country meet?
Well, my freshman year, the varsity girls, we were running a race, and I mean, a lot of turns, and there was this one turn where the girl went like the wrong way, and we ended up like in a big field, and there was like cows and everything, and it was just, everyone was just kind of lost, and we didn't know what to do. We were lost for like 30 minutes, and eventually like the gator found us, but I think that for sure is like the craziest thing.
That's awesome. What about you, Devin?
I haven't been lost that badly, but I think probably the craziest thing I've ever seen. I remember a meet where we were running through some trees, and there was just this massive mud pit. It was full of water, full of mud, and you could either choose to go around it or go straight through it. And a lot of the more confident guys decided that they wanted to go straight through it. And I think a lot of shoes were lost that day. And we were very muddy by the end of the race.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach Reed, you've been around it a lot longer. So what sticks out in your mind, one of the craziest things you've seen at a cross country race?
I would definitely have to agree with Anna. That was a couple years ago. We were that was a varsity race for the girls, and they probably ran about 5 miles that morning. It was a lot of coaches were concerned where the girls were at, because we're all stationed out different parts, and like we see like the first couple girls come through like towards the finish line, and then after that there was like a 15-minute window, and there was no fourth place, fifth place, sixth place girls, and where everybody's like, what's going on here? But they, like Anna said, they probably ran at least 5 miles that morning, so they had to go out there and get them, and they brought them back, and it was very, very interesting. I hadn't seen that before, but I would have to agree with her. Something interesting I saw last week was I thought we were over in Roy City, and I saw a kid. He was running, and I guess his shoe fell off. But so he was running with one shoe on, one shoe off, and he keeps on running, and he comes back onto the second loop, and he's still doing the same thing. So he ran probably about a mile and a half with the shoe in his hand. I hadn't seen that yet. That was pretty funny. So those are some things that stick out to me. But definitely what Anna said, that was very interesting, because they don't. They probably ran 5 miles that morning. So,
so I'm guessing they got to finish the race.
They did get to finish, yes, but their times were like 44 minutes or something like that. It was something crazy like that.
Sounds like the next race they blew those PRs out of the water there.
Oh, absolutely. Thankfully, it wasn't like a big race or anything. It was early on in the season, so they had a couple races prior to that, and we had a couple more heading into the district meet. But it was interesting. It was interesting. It was all I could do was smile about it and just move on. So
awesome. And I'm going to come back to you. I know cross country, while it is a team event points wise, it's individual. You're running, you get individual placements, you have your times, but talk about that Red Oak team up there and what your teammates mean to you. Cause I know you guys are supportive of each other. Yes, you're competing with each other and competing against each other, but how supportive is it? How tight knit of a group is that, and not just the girls, but the girls and the guys, because y'all run together, y'all practice together. Talk about the tight knit group you've got up there at Red Oak.
I think we're a really well knit team. Like I think we all support each other a lot at meets, cheering each other on. Like the girls always cheer the boys on, and the boys always cheer the girl on. And this year, like since COVID is a little bit less, I think we've gotten to interact with each other a lot more. Like after meets, going out to eat and like getting to sit with each other and just talk. And like on the buses, like everyone like gets along with each other. And we usually do like team bonding things. We haven't done one this year, but those help a lot with like getting to know everybody, like the new people who are running. And I think one of my favorite parts of the meets is like cheering on my teammates. We all love to do that.
Devin, kind of same question to you. Talk about the atmosphere, but also, there should be more people out watching cross country events, but sometimes, the crowds, you're not going to get as many. Talk about how important it is that your teammates have your back. Your coach has your back, and just how that love that y'all show each other helps drive and it helps push each other to be better.
Well, like Anna said, we really are a tight-knit community out of all the teams I've been a part of. I consider this the most closely knit and, just overall nice people to be around out of all my teams. And so you really start to develop a sort of like dependence and love for all of your teammates. And when, on that, second or third mile, when you're really feeling it, nothing feels better than seeing all these people that you love, right, cheering you on.
Awesome.
Important.
Awesome. Well, Coach Reed, coming back to you, give us a little insight with these two young individuals, and Anna and Devin, what they mean to the team and what you've seen growth-wise as they've each been doing this for a few years now.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is gonna be my fourth year at Red Oak. So I haven't really told Devin this yet, but he's one of the first kids that I met when I came to Red Oak. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but like first day of practice, 2018. He's going into his freshman year. I met him, and so I've got to see his progress. Since from his freshman year up until now, and it's been outstanding. And I really enjoy being around this whole group of kids, because like Anna and Devin said, they're very tight, they're close together, they're just full of positive energy. It's unbelievable how positive they are towards each other. At the meets, at practices, it's a lot of fun to see. So I really enjoy watching them grow. From the time they're freshmen. I've known Anna since she was a freshman. I remember the first day I met her too. She came the summer going into her freshman year, because she didn't run in middle school, at least not in 8th grade. And then she came out, and she, she's been a leader for on our girls' side, ever since since her freshman year. So it's really been, it's fun to see them grow up, to mature, and obviously, become good runners. It's very fun to see. So I enjoy being around them. Like I said, the team, they've already mentioned it. Like it's a good group of kids. They really feed off each other. They're great academically too. They take a lot of a lot of AP, pre-AP, like those. So they do very well academically, and I don't tell them enough, but they're awesome to be around. It's a really fun group.
Awesome. Well, Coach Reed, what's the next meet you got going on the schedule?
Our next meet is going to be this Thursday. We're in Waxahachie at Waxahachie Sports Complex. Waxahachie Life is hosting it. It should be a good meet. We went there last year. Actually, Waxahachie High School hosted one there last year. So we went there last year to this similar course. So we're definitely looking forward to it. We had a lot of good results there last year. So we're definitely looking forward to a good day on Thursday. Cooler weather, like, today's probably the hottest day it's been in, about a month. It's really hot this afternoon. But it's supposed to cool off, and it should be some good weather on Thursday morning. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully this last 100 day was just Texas' way of saying I'm done. Now we get some cooler weather, but who knows? We may get a 100 degree day in November. You never know.
You don't know. It's like last year. I went 100, but it's because last year was a little bit different with COVID. With the regional meet was a little bit later. It was in the afternoon, and it was November, and it was in the mid 80s. I remember it was extremely hot for that time of year. So you never know what you're going to get in Texas.
So, well, I appreciate you guys taking time joining us, and it's always fun to dive into cross country and the sports that I know everybody wants to shine a light on football. Everybody wants to shine a light on basketball, baseball, but there's more kids out there that do more than just play those popular sports. And I think what you guys do and what you're teaching is great. And I'm hoping that more individuals, more youth get involved. And so thank y'all so much. Anna, Devin, and Coach Reed, it's been a pleasure. And hopefully we can have y'all on again, maybe later this fall, talking about some results and some positive, maybe district championship, talking about how you guys are doing. So thank y'all so much, and y'all have a good rest of your evening.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having us. Thank you, sir.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always going to get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of Doe-licious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas.